So today, Vishnu, we are going to start our respiration part. So it is the cellular respiration. Actually, I'm going to talk about the in plants. Okay, so because the chapter of plant physiology. So cellular respiration, you know it very well. It is the breakdown process. Catabolic process means it is going to break, or you can say that whenever there is a nutrition process, so glucose is already formed, right? Glucose is already formed in the photosynthesis. So now we are going to release the energy. So whenever there is a oxidation of these substances, you can say glucose, then it is going to produce the energy. Okay, so it is a kind of catabolic process because you can say that the organic substances are going to be oxidized and it is going to release some energy. Okay, so you know it very well. When the glucose is there, so glucose is going to be broken down into the pyruvate, and then after the pyruvate it is going to release some energy. Like in the presence of oxygen, it is going to produce 38 ATP. Okay, and in the absence of oxygen, it is going to produce only 2 ATP. You know it. Whenever it is a aerobic one, then it is the 38 ATP. But when it is anaerobic, then it is only 2 ATP. And what do you think in human being? Which process is going to take place? Aerobic? Yeah. Aerobic or
38.
anaerobic?
38 one. Aerobic.
Very right, completely right. Yes. So if I talk about the cellular respiration, so you already know that aerobic one and the anaerobic one. So anaerobic one take place in the bacteria and the smaller organism, primitive one, prokaryotic. But if I talk about the aerobic one, so we are highly advanced. We are the human beings. So aerobic respiration take place in the advanced organism. Okay. So why? Because we need extra energy. We need more energy for our various activities, isn't it? So that's why we need more energy. It is a aerobic respiration. So it is the breakdown of the respiratory substrate in the presence of the oxygen. So we are going to break down all these reactants, okay, in the presence of the oxygen. So it produces what? CO2 and water in the end. So CO2 and water, they are going to produce, okay. So it releases high amount of energy. Remember that. So when you have the glucose is going to combine with the oxygen, okay, like aerobic respiration. So it is going to produce the CO2, water, and some amount of energy. So this is the aerobic respiration. You know it very well. So carbon dioxide we also release outside, water remain in our body, and it is going to produce 38 ATP. Okay, and you can also say remember the digits like 2870 kilojoule energy. Okay, so this is aerobic one. But if I talk about anaerobic one, so in the anaerobic one, it is not going to produce more amount of energy. So first reaction is basically for the anaerobic, like if oxygen is not there, so glucose is going to produce ethanol. Like this process is also helpful for the ethanol production. Okay, like there is a yeast and its name is the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So this Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used for production of ethanol. Okay, and carbon dioxide is released, and only 2 ATP, or you can say this less amount of energy, 247 kilojoule. Okay, and suppose when you are going to do a very heavy exercise, when we are going to do a rigorous exercise, so of course in that case there is a deficiency of oxygen in your body. So that case is known as the lack of oxygen. So in the lack of oxygen, lactic acid is produced. That's why we feel like cramps, some cramps or pain in the muscles, right? So it is all because of the lactic acid, and the ATP production is also very low in this case. Okay. So it means anaerobic respiration means when there is a absence or lack of oxygen. So in the absence, they produce ethanol, and in the lack of oxygen, they produce lactic acid. Okay. So if I ask you the what is the main difference between the aerobic and the anaerobic? So can we say that aerobic take place in the advanced organism, like the higher plants or the human beings? We are studying about the human physio like plant physiology. That's why we are taking that. So it is common in all the higher plants. Okay, it is permanent process that continues for the complete life processes, like whole lifespan of a plant, right? Aerobic one, it releases very large amount of energy, like 38 molecules of ATP, right? Aerobic. And if the end products are the CO2 and the H2O, Are you getting that, Vishnu?
Yeah, I got all on my
Okay.
notes.
And yes, and it is taking place at the two site. Firstly, they see glucose breakdown is not a very simple process. We are going to see now breakdown of the glucose. It is at least like three main processes, and then there is a convertible process. I will tell you about that. Firstly, there is a glycolysis, then there is a formation of acetyl CoA, then there is a Krebs cycle, okay, and then uh, there is a complete ETC, electron transport chain. So I will tell you about that. Don't worry. So the aerobic respiration uses both the sides, cytoplasm and the mitochondria, and it occurs in the presence of oxygen. But in the anaerobic, it is uncommon in higher plant. It doesn't take place. It take place in the primitive organism. It is taking place in anaerobic condition. It releases only two molecules of ATP. It is producing CO2 and the ethanol, okay, cytoplasm, and it occurs in the absence of oxygen. So you know it very well. It is only taking place in the cytoplasm, but it is not only taking place in the cytoplasm, but also in the mitochondria. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if we talk about the glycolysis, so see, we are going to oxidize the glucose to produce the energy. So that's why we are going to start from the first step, which is the glycolysis. So I want, before I proceed further, so I want to tell you something.
Mhm.
Whenever glucose is going to be broken down and it is producing some energy, so it is taking place into the, I mean, it is there are mainly three processes. First is the glycolysis. So glycolysis is the 10 step process, remember. Okay, 10 step you can say. And what is happening in this process? Glucose is actually converting into the two molecules of pyruvate.
Mhm.
So when it is happening, so of course it is producing some energy or it is utilizing also some energy. Okay, so we will see these 10 steps, don't worry. So first process is glycolysis. Glycolysis, it is going to produce two pyruvate. Okay, two pyruvate. So glucose is six carbon. So can you tell me one pyruvate contain how many carbon?
Hello? 12.
12. If glucose contains six carbon and things remain same, so two pyruvate, so one pyruvate contain how many carbon? Three.
I don't understand.
See, carbon number remain the same. How can you increase carbon number? So it means six carbon is going to be broken down into the two parts, three and three. So one pyruvate contain three carbon, na?
Oh, okay, 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 I see.
This is,
Oh, okay.
it
Okay,
is going to be
I thought
broken down. You can't increase or decrease the carbon number. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. So this is the one pyruvate. Okay.
I thought that was energy.
Okay. So this is the pyruvate.
Wait,
Okay. So
that
see,
was
see,
energy though.
where is energy?
You said mass can't be destroyed or created. Isn't that energy?
Mass can neither be created nor be
Wait,
destroyed.
I thought that was energy though.
Okay. Yeah, energy also, but it can be changed, na? It can be
Yeah,
changed
transfer
from
from
one
one form
part.
to another.
Yeah. So right now you have to remember glucose can be converted into the 2 pyruvate. This is the first step. And it is in very detail. We are going to see that. Now, in the second step, pyruvate is converted into the acetyl CoA. Acetyl coenzyme, you can say CoA. Remember right now. So it is a second process. And remember, in doing these processes, they are producing some energies. That's why we say 38 ATP. So in step by step, they are producing some kind of energy. We will see that. So second step is basically for the when the pyruvate is going to convert into acetyl CoA. And the third process is known as the Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is also known as the citric acid cycle. And what is happening here? So this acetyl CoA is actually going into the circular cycle, and it is going to produce a huge amount of energy. where it is like this cycle is helpful for production of very high amount of energy. Okay, so you remember our basic unit is ATP, but in these three steps you will see, we will see the energy in the form of NADP, NADPH. Okay. Sorry. You will see some energy in the FADP, you will see some energy GTP. Okay, so actually these are the different forms of the energy currency.
Okay, I
So
looked it up. I looked NADP up. Apparently, like NADP and NADPH are different.
yes, they are different.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm going to tell you. If you see here NADP, so nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Yes, you know it.
What's the H? The hydrogenated, maybe?
Yes. Now, H phosphate, phosphate. You can say that.
Then what's the P? What's the difference between PH and P?
See. Actually, here it is simple meaning is when there is a NADP, NADP is going to be reduced in the, like after the reduction, it is going to gain that H. And
Mm.
whenever there is a reduction of that, so it means it is the main thing which is equivalent to 3 ATP. When it is NADPH, NADP plus,
Oh, sorry, one
so
second.
it is nothing. But when it is going to be reduced, I mean, so you will call it as a NADPH.
Hmm.
So whenever you have the NADP, so it is equivalent to the 3 ATP. Just remember that. Whenever you see any molecule, like you can simply you can say that NADP or NADPH, it is completely equivalent to 3 ATP. So, well, 3 ATP, yes, molecules. If I
Hmm.
talk about the FADP, FADP meaning is, any guesses? Have you ever studied about in your school? FADP. So FADP is flavin adenine dinucleotide. Okay.
Okay.
FADP. So flavin adenine dinucleotide or phosphate you can say. So FADP. If I talk about the GTP here,
Glucose? No.
not glucose.
Glutide? No.
No, glycosine triphosphate it is. Okay. So, oh,
Oh,
guanosine triphosphate,
guanine. Okay.
okay. So
Oh,
guanosine
that was my second
triphosphate.
guess.
So NAD means nucleotide adenine. Uh,
Dinucleotide phosphate.
yes, dinucleotide phosphate. Okay. But if I say only NAD, then you will say nucleotide. But if I
Oh.
say NADP, then you will say phosphate. Yes.
Oh, I see.
If
Okay.
I talk about the GTP, so it is guanosine triphosphate. If I say
Guanosine?
guanosine, yes.
What? Okay. I need to like know the chemical like compound for these.
Okay. Guano, I'm writing here. Guanosine triphosphate. Actually, why I'm telling you all this, because when I talk about the Krebs cycle,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Acetyl-CoA is broken into all three energy. Yeah, and I know.
all these three energy you will see. So that's why guanosine triphosphate and GTP is actually equivalent to the 1 ATP.
Oh,
Whenever
so GTP
GTP,
and ATP are the same.
yes, GTP is getting produced, so it means it is equivalent to 1 ATP.
Yeah.
Whenever FADP is produced, so it means it is equivalent to the 2 ATP.
Uh huh.
2 ATP. Okay. And what is the full form of this FADP?
Flavin at amnutide dinucleotide phosphate.
Flavin adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Yes.
I butchered the name, but yeah.
Yeah. Flavin. Should I write that?
Flavin. No, I got this.
Okay. Adenine.
Flavin amnut. Oh, okay.
Adenine. Adenine.
Adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay. Nicotinamide and adenine dinucleotide. Okay.
Yes, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay,
Yeah.
so so these are the three main steps. But now you have the fourth step, and this fourth step is actually for the conversion of these molecule into ATP. So in all these three steps, you will see NADP, NADP, FADP, GTP. but you need energy in the form of ATP. So fourth process is only for the conversion step. It means all the NADP, FADPs, they are converting into ATP. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So fourth process is not the main process. It is just the conversion. And without conversion, it is also like you are not going to gain anything. So fourth is
Okay.
also very important. So just
Forced
tell me,
conversion.
yes. So just if I talk about the respiration in plant, so how many main processes are there total?
What?
How many total main processes are there?
In what?
Total four processes are there.
Oh,
Glycolysis, then
I
pyruvate to
heard
acetyl
plant.
CoA. Okay. And then you have the Krebs cycle main step, and then you have the interconvertible step, right?
Yeah.
Conversion for that. Okay. Uh, After that, okay. So I am going to show you
Yeah.
1 second.
Bless you.
Sorry for that. Yeah. This is the glycolysis. So as I told you, glycolysis is the main step which is converting into the two molecule of pyruvate, right? Pyruvic acid, you can also say that. Can you see? Glycolysis is the
Yeah. I
process
said
of
yeah.
conversion of glucose into the two molecules of pyruvic acid, and it contains so many enzymes, and they are producing some ATP and NADH. Okay, so they are going to produce that. So here, see, it is also known as the EMP pathway by because of the scientist names. So that's why it is also call it as a, you can call it as a EMP pathway. So glycolysis is also known as EMP pathway. It takes place in the cytoplasm, and it is both aerobic and anaerobic mode. Why? Because this step is taking place in all the microbes. Okay, like aerobic and, I mean, you can say that prokaryotic and eukaryotic both.
Hmm.
And you can, whenever there is a aerobic and anaerobic, so this is definitely going to happen. Glycolysis is definitely going to happen. Glycolysis is the main thing, and I told you it is a 10-step process, right? So glucose is going to convert into two molecules of pyruvate, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So now, can you just see that
Oh,
why it
gotcha.
is called the EMP pathway? Because E means embedden, M means mayor of, and P means parnas. So embedden mayor of parnas pathway, EMP pathway. So glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Then glucose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose 6-phosphate means fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. And then it is going to broken down into the 3 3. So can you just see that 3 and 3? So whatever is happening here, so it is going to happen here also.
The
Whatever is
exact
happening
same.
here, so that's why can you just see that 2, 2 into,
Wait,
2 into, 2 into, 2 into. Can you just see that these two?
why is it two?
Because because after this 6 carbon, it is going to broken down into the 3 carbon, 3 carbon.
Oh, so it's
So
gonna happen twice.
yes, it is going to happen twice because whatever happening with this, so it is also happening with this also. So
I
that's why
see.
everything is like two.
Mm,
What two means?
yeah,
One trios biphosphate from here and one from here.
I
Trios
see.
phosphate, one from here, one from here. But
Mm-hmm.
they forgot to mention here this thing. See, if molecule is two, so of course energy is also two, na? If it is producing one ATP, so it is producing two ATP mainly. One from here, one from here, right?
Yeah.
If it is producing NADH here, NADH, so of course one NADH from here, so it should be also from here. One more?
So it should be two everything.
Yes. Okay. But is it also two for that?
Oh no no no! Just for the bottom part.
Yes, after that part, okay. So that's why it is known as a preparatory phase. Why? Because it is taking energy. See, ATP is utilized, ATP is getting produced, and therefore ADP. It
When
means
does
they
the cell know when the preparatory friends phase? When does the cell know that the prep phase ends and the payoff phase starts?
cell no. Whenever in your body there is a glucose, so this process automatically start because of so many enzymes.
But when does it
So
like pay off though?
cell doesn't know, cell don't need to know anything. Whenever it has the glucose, so because of the enzyme present in the cytoplasm, it going to start. It will definitely happen. So
So there's
whenever
like when
whenever
do
there is
when
a, yes, yes, say.
when does it when does the phase shift from preparatory phase to payoff phase?
When you have the glucose and you have those enzymes, so firstly it they can't go payoff phase without preparatory phase. It is a series. So whenever you need energy, so glucose has to undergo first preparatory phase. So and they are taking energy and they are forming two molecules of triose phosphate. And then payoff phase start, it is going to produce two molecules of pyruvic acid. Main energy is going to produce into the ATP. ATP. It is like you are going to school. So without going to school, can you like placed in a, like can you be placed in a good reputed company like MNCs?
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay. No.
No. So it means firstly you're going school tuitions, okay, but by giving some fees, right? And then after when you become like doctor or anything, so of course then you are going to earn something, right, monthly wise. So same thing is happening here. So first it, so right now it is your preparatory phase. Why? Because you are going to prepare for something, and after that there is a payoff phase, right? So same thing is happening. It is not like when the cell need to know or nothing. It is just whenever your food is digested and glucose is formed in your body and whenever you need energy. So first glucose is converted into glucose 6 phosphate. See, I want to tell you something. ATP, it is ADP. So if it is ATP and it is ADP, so T and di, it means triphosphate to diphosphate. So one phosphate is coming at which position? At the carbon number 6. That's why it become glucose 6 phosphate. One phosphate is coming and it is putting on the carbon number 6. So that's why its name is glucose 6 phosphate. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it is just changing the structure. So it is isomerism, isomers, fructose 6 phosphate. Then one more ATP is coming and it is forming ADP. So one more phosphate, so it is coming at the carbon number 1. So that's why its structure name is fructose 1,6 biphosphate. Bi means 2. So at the carbon number 1 and at the carbon number 6. Biphosphate. And then it is going to convert into triose phosphate. So there are two molecules of triose phosphate. Okay. So whatever is happening with this triose phosphate, so of course is going to happen with this triose phosphate too. Okay, so it is a 2 triose biphosphate, then there is a 2 triose phosphate, then the phosphoglycerate, then phosphoenol pyruvate, and then pyruvic acid. Finally it is the pyruvic acid. But in the payoff phase, can you see you are going to put, you are going to get NADH here.
Hmm?
You are going to get NADH here. It is
Yeah.
equivalent to 3
Two.
ATP.
You have two.
Yes, and it is also ATP and it is also ATP. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now just tell me total. Right, you have to learn all these steps. I'm sorry for that, but you have to learn.
Sure.
See, Vishnu, how many total ATP is being utilized in the glycolysis?
Let's count them.
What?
A wait, ATP or ADP?
How many ATP are being utilized in this process?
Okay. Okay. So one, two, three or four. Four.
Utilized, I just ask. So only two na.
Two.
One ATP is
Oh
getting
wait, yeah,
utilized
two.
because rest on the post ATP is being produced, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I ask consumed. How many ATP is getting consumed by the process? Utilized. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so only two ATP are they are utilizing. That's why it is known as preparatory phase. So you are giving only two ATP, and you are going to get such reduced ATP. Okay, now you know it very well. NADH is equivalent to the 3 ATP.
Wait. NADPH.
Yes, NADH you can also say that, don't worry.
Okay, 3.
NADH is equivalent to 3 ATP. So now you have to tell me in terms of ATP, how many ATP is being produced in the payoff phase? Yes, any guesses?
How many ADPs are being produced? I mean, ATPs are being produced.
Yes, and you have to consider NADH also. It is equivalent to 3 ATP.
Okay, so did we say that there's two NADs because it has to do twice?
Yes,
So
completely
that's
right.
6, right?
Yes,
So 6 plus 2, 8.
8. Okay, very good.
Is that right?
But yeah. One second, one second.
Wait, that's not wrong. Okay.
You said about the like 2 NADH, so it is 6 ATP. But
Oh, wait,
why
there's
why
another one.
why didn't you multiply the 2 ATP and 2 ATP here?
I didn't see the bottom ATP
Oh,
because
okay.
my like uh Zoom chat like bottom bar thing was covering it. I didn't see it, so it's 10.
Okay. Now, can you see that now?
Yeah, look, oh my god, if I can get this. Oh my god. What? Eh.
Okay, now can you see that?
Yes. Okay, now I can see it.
Okay,
Okay, yeah. Now, okay, yeah, it's 10.
good. So it means, see, 2 NADH, so it means it is 6 ATP. It is
Mhm.
2 ATP we have to multiply, and it is we have to multiply here 2 also. Why? Because whatever is happening with this, so it is also happening with this, right? So that's why everything
Mhm.
is 2. If product is 2, so of course their ATP and NAD is also 2. So total it is 10. Am I right?
Yeah.
6 from here, 2 here, and 2 here. So total 10 ATP production you are getting. But don't you think if I say net production,
Okay, what does net mean?
net means total,
Oh.
preparatory as well as payoff. So what is the net
Oh.
gain
Oh,
of
14.
ATP? Net gain,
Gain? What do you mean gain?
Vishnu, it is not a ATP production, it is a ATP utilization.
Okay, so 4? I mean, 10 minus 4 is 6.
But why are you doing 4? It is only one step. There is no
Oh,
2
okay,
2.
then 8.
Yeah, now
I can't, okay,
finally.
I thought it was 2. So yeah,
Okay.
it's 8.
It is a preparatory phase. It is just the only one.
Yeah,
But after the payoff, you have to
confusion.
multiply 2. So it means it is the total gain of 10 ATP here,
Hmm.
including NADH. But you have to subtract these two ATP na, because they are utilized by the body. They
It's
are
like negative 2 plus 10.
so 10 minus 2, it is total net gain. Net gain means total gain. Total
Hmm.
how much benefit you just got. So
8.
so it means in the preparatory phase you gave a fees of 2 ATP, but in the payoff phase, which is lifetime, so how many ATP you just got?
8. Okay, 10.
10. So what is the net benefit?
8. Oh, it's like 5 times the. Okay, wow.
See, this is the first step, which is known as the glycolysis. Glycolysis means glucose to 2 moles
Pyruvate.
of the pyruvate. Okay, and this is a 10-step process, and the net gain is 8 ATP. Okay, net gain. But you know it. The second step is the from pyruvate to acetyl we have to form. From pyruvate to acetyl we have to form. But actually, here we are entering into the anaerobic process. It means you can see the fermentation. So we are just looking for the what usually happen in the fermentation. Okay, so just give me some time so that I can explain the fermentation processes. Okay, so yeah, I have already explained that, right? 2 ATP were being produced and an investment, and it is the energy. You know it or not? I told you all these. So you already know this, like the total net gain is of 8.
Wait, can you go back? Okay, yeah.
Pyruvate is going to the mitochondria when it is aerobic respiration. You know it. I told you cytoplasm and mitochondria both utilizing what are utilized.
In aerobic, yeah.
Yes. So, glycolysis take place in the cytoplasm. After the glycolysis, it is going to the mitochondria for the further reaction.
Hmm.
But now, what will happen if there is no oxygen? What will happen if
It goes to the cytoplasm.
it remain in the cytoplasm?
Oh, sure.
Okay, because it was already in the cytoplasm, so it is going and like anywhere.
Not going anywhere. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So it means now in the cytoplasm, if it is completely anaerobic, so it is produce the alcohol, which is called the fermentation. And
Hmm.
if it is producing lactic acid, which usually take place in our muscles, cramps, so it is lactic acid. So let's see how fermentation take place. Okay. So see, if I talk about the alcohol fermentation, so of course it take place in some plant tissue, fungi and bacteria, because only these organisms are considered as a primitive one, absence of oxygen. So pyruvate was formed in the glycolysis. Okay, so this pyruvate is converted into the alcohol and CO2. Okay, so how you can see that? So pyruvate is converted into the acetaldehyde and plus CO2. So acetaldehyde, so it need a enzyme which is called pyruvic acid decarboxylase. It means carboxyl group is going to be removed from that. So it is a acetaldehyde, and then this acetaldehyde in the presence of alcoholic dehydrogenase, it is forming ethyl alcohol, or you can say ethanol. Okay,
Mm.
and NADPH is converted into the NAD plus. So you can see that pyruvate is converted into the acetaldehyde, and this acetaldehyde is converted into ethyl alcohol. So can we say it is a two-step process and require a two like catalyst enzyme, better to say, pyruvic acid decarboxylase and then alcohol dehydrogenase. So it means
Oh,
if it is a
oh, is that
ferment,
like how you is? Do you put the catalyst on the line
yes.
arrow? Well, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So okay, so pyruvate is converted into the acetaldehyde, and then this acetaldehyde is converted into the ethyl alcohol, which is a like complete a very good industry, like a high money earning industry, right? Alcohols are usually utilized worldwide. Okay,
Sure.
so that's why. So it's a pyruvate to acetaldehyde to ethyl alcohol. So first is pyruvic acid decarboxylase and then alcohol dehydrogenase, right? Are you getting?
Hmm.
Okay, now you can see one thing, Vishnu. NADH is converting into NAD plus.
Okay.
So it is utilizing or it is producing ATP?
I think it's utilizing, right?
Yeah. So in the glycolysis, what was the net gain of ATP?
Eight
8.
units.
And
Eight.
out of 8, one NADH is being utilized here. It means how many ATP?
Five. 8 minus 3, 5.
But why are you saying 5?
Because it's 3. We're 3 ADP. ATP.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay. I got it. I got it. Okay, so you just subtracted to one NADH, right? So it means 3. So it will remain the 5. You are saying that.
Yeah, is that wrong?
Okay, one second, one second. Uh, this is basically for the one pyruvate. See, it
Huh?
is
Yeah.
basically for one pyruvate. In glucose, tell me how many pyruvate were formed?
2.
Two. So if one pyruvate is utilizing one NADH, it means 3 ATP. So two pyruvate is taking how much energy? Taking.
Wait, 6, you said? Oh, no, it 2. No,
Yes,
3.
yes, 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 yes. You were saying right. One
Okay.
pyruvate is utilizing one. You can we say in terms of ATP?
Oh, yeah, 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 sure. Can we do that, please?
One pyruvate is taking 3 ATP for
Yeah.
producing ethanol. So
Yeah.
it means two pyruvate is taking 6 ATP for producing ethyl alcohol,
I
more ethyl
see.
alcohol. So now it means in the alcohol formation, total 6 ATP they are utilizing.
Yeah.
And in the glycolysis, which is the first step, they produce the 8 ATP total.
Yeah.
So 8 minus 6, how many net gain?
Two.
Oh, that's why I told you. That's why I told you in the anaerobic respiration it produces only 2 ATP. Remember?
Uh,
Because
wait,
because
then where did we get 38 from?
38 is the aerobic. We haven't
Yeah, but
started
how do you get that much?
because of the Krebs cycle, because of the acetyl CoA. We will discuss about that.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Because we haven't studied about the aerobic one now. Okay,
Yeah, that
Krebs
makes
cycle is a very, I told you, huge step, huge production of ATP take place at the Krebs cycle.
well, yeah, 38. That's a lot.
And automatically it become also 2 because we will going to see only for the one pyruvate, and whatever happening with the pyruvate, so we automatically it is become multiply by 2 because
Mhm.
glucose has produced the 2 pyruvate na. So whatever happened with the one pyruvate, so it is automatically happening with the other one also. Getting?
Yeah,
So that's why that's it will become the like double 38. Okay. So you have to remember these steps. It may be asked like in the examination. I will definitely ask you in the quiz round. So pyruvate is converted into the acetaldehyde first,
mm-hmm.
which is taking the pyruvic acid decarboxylase, and then this acetaldehyde, alcohol dehydrogenase, it is converted into the ethyl alcohol, and it is second step is done.
I got
Okay.
it, sir.
Okay, but so that was basically for the ethanol. But if I talk about the lack of oxygen, so lack of oxygen, it is taking the
Yeah.
lactic acid dehydrogenase only. So this pyruvate, only lacking. I am talking about not anaerobic. It is a lack
Okay.
of oxygen, so it is producing lactic acid, and it is also taking NADH and producing NAD plus. Okay, it is also taking NADH and producing NAD plus. Remember that. Okay. So it is for the one pyruvate, so it means automatically it is also producing only 2 ATP.
Yeah.
So during this process, pyruvate breaks down to produce the lactic acid, and it occurs in the muscle cells, some fungus, some bacteria. Okay, whenever there is a lack of oxygen, there is no not sufficiency, insufficiency, you can say, non-availability of oxygen. Okay, so lactic acid fermentation require which enzyme? So what will you say?
Lactic acid dehydrogenase.
Okay, and when I talk about the anaerobic respiration, which is producing the ethanol, it requires one enzyme or two enzyme?
Two enzymes.
Yes, what was the first one?
Give me a second. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I got
Okay,
this.
okay, okay.
Pyruvic acid decarboxylase.
Yeah, yeah,
Alcohol
yeah.
dehydrogenase.
Yes, you are right. And which step is utilizing the NAD? First one or second one?
Second one.
Okay. And in the lactic acid, first one or second one?
There's no first one or second. What's the first one?
Yeah, okay, good now. Okay. So in the fermentation, we have the alcoholic fermentation and the lactic acid fermentation. We just saw the two things. So it involves the two step, but there is no first one, second one. It is only a single step.
Yeah.
So alcoholic fermentation, so ethyl alcohol is being produced from the pyruvate. From the
Mm-hmm.
pyruvate, ethanol is coming, and here from the pyruvate, lactic acid is coming. Lactic acid fermentation, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here CO2 is released, but here CO2 is not released. It occurs in the some plant tissue like the most of the microorganism, but it occurs only in the animal tissue and some fungi and the bacteria. Lactic acid fermentation. So it uses two enzymes only, pyruvate decarboxylase and alcoholic dehydrogenase. I told you, and you just recently told me both the enzyme, but it is only taking the one enzyme, lactic acid dehydrogenase. Right?
Yeah.
So it is I told you one thing, like actually we were going to see the second step. Remember
Mm-hmm.
pyruvate to acetyl CoA, but we just took some time for, and we just took out some time for studying the fermentation, right? Fermentation, the anaerobic one. So now can we go back to the main aerobic one, the second step?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we will go back, but remember this cycle is really important. Okay,
Okay. Den Meyer-Hofparnas pathway.
Yeah, so EMP pathway you can say. So
It's like a light switch.
have you learned these steps? I mean, if I say to you, write down to your copy without seeing any notebook or without seeing your notes, so can you make it?
I can do it by next class. Yeah.
Okay, okay then, fine. So you have to remember this is very, very important, okay? And I can't compromise with it because
Why is it important?
I don't know because it is it is the first step for the like both the one aerobic and the anaerobic one. It is
Okay.
important. I have seen many exam where like many questions has been asked from this part only,
It's
and
important because there's a lot of exams that ask. Okay, I see.
yes. Okay. So, yes, after that, we are going to move to the, remember the second part? What was the second part, Vishnu? Can you tell me that?
Pyruvate to acetyl CoA.
Yes, and acetyl-CoA is known as the acetyl-CoA enzyme. I told you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
So now you have seen that glucose is producing two pyruvate. So whatever happening with the one pyruvate, so we automatically we have to consider it is also happening with the second one.
Hmm.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay, you were completely right. Whatever happening with the one pyruvate, so of course it is actually happening with the second pyruvate also. Okay, so see, aerobic respiration we were discussing about that. So now see here. Can you see this is the pyruvate, three carbon on the screen? Can you see the three pyruvate here?
Yeah.
So here the three pyruvate were here. You can see that. So as it is the three pyruvate, one, two, three. So can you see that it is going to produce the acetyl-CoA, acetyl-CoA.
Yeah.
So pyruvate is 2, acetyl-CoA is being produced. But remember, CO2 is being released.
Hmm.
Coenzyme, I told you, coenzyme is a non-protein part. It is an enzyme which is non-protein. And it is also, see, NAD plus is going to form NADH. So it means it is producing the energy or it is utilizing the energy. What do you think?
Producing
Yes. So it means one pyruvate to acetyl CoA is producing how much energy?
3 ATPs.
So, but how many pyruvate were formed in the
Two,
glycolysis?
two, two. So
So it
six,
means it means in the second step total how much gain of energy?
six maybe.
Very yes, completely right. Six total. Okay. So because in the one because one glucose is producing the two pyruvate. So if one pyruvate in the second step they are forming acetyl CoA it is producing 3 ATP. So of course two pyruvates are going to form 2 NADH and 2 NADH means 6 ATP, right?
Hmm.
So this is known as the oxidative decarboxylation. Why? Because carbon dioxide is being released from it. Carbon dioxide is being released. Okay? Any doubt in this?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So this is the second step. And what is the third step, which is very, very important?
Krebs cycle.
Yes. So now we are coming. Okay. But before coming to Krebs cycle, now what it has formed? Second step is now where we have
Acetyl
reached.
CoA.
So now we are going to start from the acetyl CoA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the Krebs cycle is also known as the citric acid cycle and it is also known as the tricarboxylic acid cycle. It is not so easy, so look it very carefully. So citric acid cycle and the tricarboxylic acid because cycles are very confusing and very typical. Many people say this, how can we learn that? There are so many substances. I can't remember so many, but you have to. So it is a cyclic pathway, okay? So Krebs cycle, and it occurs only during the aerobic respiration because it is producing a huge amount of energy, okay? So right now, if I ask you glycolysis, you saw net gain of ATP in glycolysis, how much?
8.
In the second step, acetyl CoA, how much the net gain?
6.
Yes. So now we are going to see this cycle. Oh my God. Can you see that?
Hmm.
So this is the very complicated, but I don't want you to see this complicated cycle. So that's why I'm going to show you the easier one, which is quite good and easy to learn.
Thank you.
Okay, most welcome. Okay, I'm just going to show you the easier Krebs cycle, okay, because this is quite complicated. One second, just I'm just showing you on the Google. Wait a sec. Google is also showing the complicated one, but I'm trying my best to show you. Yeah, if I am sharing the screen, what a second. Yeah, can you see on the right side? Can you see the right side portion?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the pyruvate? It has already formed the acetyl CoA. This one.
Mhm. Yeah.
So this is the second step, right? So now
Hmm.
we are coming here at the third step. Can you just see the cycle completely here?
Yeah.
Okay. So see, oxaloacetic acid were already there, 4 carbon, and this oxaloacetic waiting for the acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA contain 2 carbon, and oxalo OAA oxaloacid is contain the 4 carbon. So this 4 carbon and this 2 carbon they are going to combine with each other, and they are going to form
Mhm.
how many carbon?
Say it again. 6 carbons.
Yes, 2 plus 4, it is 6 carbon,
6.
right? You can see my screen, right, or not?
No, I can see it.
Okay, so 6 carbon, okay, citric acid it has formed. But when the citric acid is removing the decarboxylation, actually, carbon dioxide is being released. So from this 6 carbon, 1 carbon dioxide is going outside. So how many carbon is left now?
5 maybe.
Yes, 5. So it is forming alpha catogluteric acid. And
Oh, is
by
it the one
doing
with
it,
like the
by doing it so, NADH is being produced or utilized. See it here. Zoom it.
used? No, produced.
Yes, NAD plus 2 NADPH. NADPH is means it is equivalent to.
That's where the alcohol is being produced, right?
Yeah, yes.
All
So
right.
citric acid to alpha catogluteric acid, one carbon is a decarboxylation. One carbon dioxide is released outside. So it is I told you it is a huge step, a huge ATP formation. So one NADH is being produced. Okay. Now from this alpha catogluteric acid, it is forming the succinic acid. So when they are forming the succinic acid, see it has removed one more carbon dioxide from the 5 carbon, it has removed one more carbon dioxide. So now it has become how many carbon?
What? 4.
From the alpha catogluteric acid, which is the 5 carbon, it has removed one more
4.
carbon dioxide. So now how much is left?
4.
So can you just see NADH is produced or utilized here?
Produced.
GTB, diphosphate to triphosphate.
Oh,
So
then used.
are you sure?
No.
ADP to ATP is good. It means it is formation of ATP. So same thing GDP to GTP. It is also good.
It's an extra phosphate, so that's good.
Yes. So it means it is the ATP. It is equivalent to 1 ATP. I told you.
Yeah.
GTP means 1 ATP. Okay. From succinic acid, it is going to form malic acid. So if it is
Oh, that's
going to form
sour.
the malic acid, so it is what? FAD plus 2 FADPH2.
Hmm.
FADPH2. So it is good or bad?
Good.
So it means it is equivalent to how many ATP?
Hold on.
I told you.
4.
I told you.
4.
No, not 4.
2.
Yes, 2.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, did you say 4 because you know it because it is a 2 pyruvate?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, then you are right. Okay, so because one pyruvate is producing one FeDH2, so of course two
I mean, I
pyruvate are,
saw a DH like H2, so I'm like, shouldn't that be two?
yeah. Okay. See.
All right, that's fine.
FADH2 is there. FADH2 is there. FADH2 is equivalent to the 2 ATP. Remember that. So this is basically for one pyruvate. So when the other pyruvate is also there, because glucose produces two pyruvate now. So it is total how much FADH2? Two FADH2. And one FADH2 is 2 ATP. So 2 FADH2 is how much ATP?
Two, four.
4 ATP. One
Pretty much
FADH2
today.
is 2 ATP. So 2 FADH2 is how much ATP?
uh, four, I think.
Yes, 4. Why? I think you should be sure. One
Four,
Fa
I'm pretty
one
sure.
F one FADH2 is equivalent to 2 ATP.
Okay.
So when the other pyruvate from the glucose is also coming the same cycle,
Oh, that's four.
so it means 2 FADH2 now you have total. So it means it will be 4 ATP. Okay, so malic acid. And this malic acid is forming oxaloacetic acid, and again it is a utilizing or formation.
Oh, producing.
NADH producing. Okay, very right. So now you have seen that citric acid, alpha ketoglutarate acid, succinic acid, malic acid, and then oxaloacetic acid. In this cycle, in this circle, can you tell me how many total net gain of ATP? I'm talking about one pyruvate, not the other one. Just see the one pyruvate. Because we will multiply by 2 later. But right now, tell me from the one pyruvate this cycle, how much net gain of ATP total?
Okay. Wait, what was the question again? Sorry.
How much ATP is being produced in this cycle?
Okay. 1 second. I need the time to calculate.
Okay, take your time. Things are on your screen, so I guess you can simply calculate that.
2 ATPs
What?
and six NADHs.
I told you, you have to tell me in terms of ATP
Okay.
only.
So
Okay,
14.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
14.
No. Okay, one NADH, one NADH, and one NADH. It means total three NADH.
Is
In the
6.
in the one cycle, three NADH. So if three NADH, no. I'm talking. I'm already saying you have to take for one of pyruvate now.
Okay.
We will multiply later. Don't worry.
Oh,
NADH.
I thought we're doing two pyruvates.
Okay. Okay. Then it is.
Then 7.
See. One NADH, one NADH, NADH. So it means one cycle is producing three NADH.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many FADH2?
1.
One. How many GTP?
1.
Okay. So from the three NADH, it is three ja 9. So 9 ATP.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, 9.
9 ATP. And
I'm dumb.
FADH2
It's
is
okay. No, no,
equivalent
no.
to
I
2
got, I
ATP.
got this. 18 plus 20. 20. Yeah.
9 plus 2, 11. And
10. Oh,
GTP is equivalent to 1 ATP. So plus
oh,
1. So it is total 12.
what? Okay.
See, Vishnu, how many NADH is produced? Just tell me.
3 times 3 is 9 plus
9. FADH2 is
one,
equivalent to 2
uh
ATP.
1 ADP. No, two ADP.
2. It is total 11 now.
Yeah.
And then one more GTP equivalent to 1 ATP.
Yeah.
So it is now total how much?
12.
Is there anything else left?
No, but the one other pyruvate.
Yeah, one other pyruvate. So if from the one pyruvate in the Krebs
Oh,
cycle,
24.
it is total 12 ATP. So
24
now
is
tell me, so for the two pyruvate is a total how much?
24.
24 ATP, right? So it means we can say that. So in the one Krebs cycle, okay, we saw how many NADH?
Three.
Yes,
One
three,
times two is
three.
six, but
Yeah,
okay.
so it means it is total how many? So it is equivalent to how many ATP?
Nine.
And how many FADH2 were produced?
Two. One, one, one.
Hmm. So it means it is equivalent to how much?
Two ATPs.
And how many GTP?
One.
So it is equivalent to 1 ATP. So it means in the one Krebs cycle, how many ATP being produced? Are usually
12
produced
ATPs.
12 ATP. But you know that glucose is produced how many pyruvate?
Two. Yeah.
Two pyruvate. So it
Four.
means if there is a two pyruvate, so it is going in one Krebs cycle or two Krebs cycle or four Krebs cycle.
A two Krebs cycle equals 24
Yes.
ATPs.
Yes. So it means one Krebs cycle produce 12. So two Krebs cycle produce how many? Oh, sorry. 24 ATP, right? Now
Yeah.
you ask me one thing. Where does this 38 ATP came from, right?
Yeah.
Now calculate. From the glycolysis, how many ATP were produced? You remember?
Eight.
Very good, Shabash. Yes, well done. From the second step,
Six.
acetyl CoA,
Oh, 24 plus 14. I see it. Okay, 38.
acetyl CoA, 6 ATP
Yeah, it's
because
everything combines to
two
38 ATP.
times,
Yeah, I see it.
and then two Krebs cycle. It is total how much? 24, right? So now just
It-
calculate total how much it is.
38.
38 ATP. Got it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how 38. Like nobody can think, oh my God, there's such type of calculation in biology. Am I studying biology or mathematics? Yes, it's a kind of.
Neither.
Okay, so this is how 38 ATP is being produced in the glycolysis and then acetyl CoA and then Krebs cycle. Okay, you got my point.
Sure,
But
yeah.
but 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 main thing is Krebs cycle and glycolysis people usually don't remember. They usually forget. Yes, they remember the how many ATP is being produced, but they forget the steps like malic acid, succinic acid, fumaric acid, alpha ketoglutarate acid. All these things you have to remember. Okay. So in the next class, okay, Vishnu, yes, actually, this time your two classes are pending. So can you take class tomorrow if you are not busy?
Yeah, I think so.
Tomorrow night,
Yeah,
according to you.
yeah.
Okay, then. Okay, so you have class tomorrow morning, according to me, and tomorrow night, according to you. Okay?
Yeah, but I can't, like, I can't go until 11 p.m. for me.
Okay, right now, what is the time right now in the USA?
11 p.m.
Okay, so you can't take class after 11 p.m., right?
Yeah, because my bedtime is like, yeah, 11.
Okay, fine. So I'm ending the class. Okay?
All right, bye. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye bye. Take care.
I
So
enjoyed the
so
class. It was
tomorrow
really
will be
interesting.
class, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, bye bye. Take care.
All right, thank you. The class really interesting today. Thank you.